Everybody. Today in our video we are going to talk all about the adrenals because this comes up a lot. It's one of the bigger ones that show up on our test is people having adrenal fatigue, and so we wanted to just share with you what that is, what it looks like, and how you can help yourself and why it's important.
Yeah, because it's really important. I think, you also, the other buzzword is cortisol. And so, cortisol is a steroid hormone. And so that actually is what it's produced in your adrenals. So when when people say, oh, my cortisol was spiking, or we got a cortisol, you've got, the sugar or whatever, and that's, the cortisol is actually what goes to your belly. That's what happens is it's like your hypothalamus is your thermostat, and then your pituitary gland is the relayer, and then the adrenals are furnace, and then your cortisol is basically the heat, right? So you've got this whole thing, like it's almost like it all turns on, and then forget it, it's over. You're heated up and ready to go. And I just wanted to do that because for me, like painting a picture is always, I'm able, like as I'm driving, if there's something simple, I'm able to actually relate it and go, oh my gosh, okay, this is where we're at.
And that has a function, it serves a purpose in life. It's not just like a weird random thing that happens to our body. It's made to protect us, and adrenals are made to protect us and regulate hormones and blood pressure and metabolism. The problem becomes when it's constantly raised and we're constantly in fight or flight mode. And unfortunately, we're not in a jungle having to have that function help us get away from a tiger or a lion. We're going into fight or flight if we're in bad traffic or watching like an intense show. So the thing is we want to help you regulate it so you're not constantly burning that out, and with that comes disease and other problems.
And unfortunately, like there's no your body doesn't know that you're just in traffic. It will act exactly the same. And so, even there'll be times where somebody, like, I'll have to slam my brakes, and I'm like, oh, my cortisol just went up, which is silly. But there's certain things that if we can prepare you so that when those things do happen, your cortisol won't spike as much because you'll be prepared. You won't be so fight or flight, because if you're in fight or flight always, then the cortisol never comes down. That's where you start to get your belly fat. We start to gain weight. We start to retain water, and it's just not a good cycle. So
so that can with adrenal fatigue, it could show up in a lot of ways, and it's kind of hard because I feel like that's not really something that when you go to the doctor they pinpoint and are like, oh yeah, you seem to have adrenal fatigue.
Oh, they do say that, but then they don't give you anything else.
So that it shows up differently for different people. So it can show up as spiked blood sugar. It can actually show up as low blood pressure too. Poor sleep, infertility or worsened PMS symptoms, lower back pain, dizziness, salt cravings, brain fog, poor memory, and dry and thin skin. And I was going down this list and I was like, oh wow.
So
I may have some of that.
So I know it'll seem like a lot, but to simplify it, because if we can get you guys, if we can give you instant results and then work on the long term after, then that's what we want to do, because we don't want to push too much at you. But sleep is the number one thing. And we've had a lot of clients actually, that say that they have so much more energy at night, and then they wake up foggy. The thing is that if you don't get to sleep by like 10 o'clock, your adrenals pop back on and they're like, let's go. And so if you ever notice, like if you stay up past 10 o'clock, it's sometimes hard for you to fall asleep. But also is like when, sometimes when let's say a mom, everybody's in bed, it's quiet, now we can do our work, we can stimulate, do whatever we want that we love. But what happens is you do get stimulated, and then your brain doesn't shut off. And then you're like up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to read more, Like I've had to learn, like I read honestly those trashy magazines because I don't have to think about anything, or I watch The Office or something. But I used to read all of these health magazines or the health, books, and I would just I keep wanting to learn more, and then I wasn't able to fall asleep because I was getting so stimulated. So the part of the sleep piece is to really start a sleep pattern. So if and you'll find that you'll actually have more energy in the morning to get all the stuff done that you had at night. And you'll feel more productive.
Yeah.
But you want to get that really in check. So if it's something that you struggle with, then just scale back maybe a half an hour each night or half an hour like each week, whatever it is. But turn your lights down low. Don't do things that are stimulating. Don't eat 3 hours before you go to bed. Working out, don't work out after 6 o'clock. What else? Just create some kind of bedtime routine so that you can prep your body and your body knows what to do. And it'll start to get into the circadian rhythm where you'll start waking up and you'll wake up with the sun and you'll start to feel a lot better.
Yeah, you will feel better because I definitely was a night owl. My whole childhood, I was always a night owl. My teenage years, I was a night owl. I don't know. I just love staying up late and I love sleeping in. But I will say, even it's interesting how you feel rested differently. Like I could go to bed at 12 and wake up at 9 and then still not feel that great during the day. But now, like I've created a new habit where I fall asleep by 10, I get up at 7:30 and I feel so good. And I think that's because I'm aligning with the sun. And, my circadian rhythm is like unchecked. Like I don't think I'm meant to go to bed at midnight. But it's just an interesting thing. And you feel like you could tackle your day easier. And that alone, so that goes into managing stress. Sleep, we say, is like a top one because that's going to feed into the other things that you need to nourish your adrenals. When you get proper rest, you can manage stress easier. It also repairs your gut, which helps with stress because of the gut-brain connection. It's not, when you don't get enough sleep, you actually crave more sugar and bad things when you don't sleep. So the sleep is like the core of it. And it's going to feed into those.
Yeah, because your adrenals have to work so hard, which is what, the cortisol, that's what brings the cortisol on. And so then that's why you crave all the sugar and you're all like wanting a coffee drink and all of the weird stuff because you're just not, your body's not used to functioning, not having sleep. So then it has to work harder.
Yep.
And then what else?
So the main ones I think just for now to focus on is sleep, nutrition, and stress management.
Yeah. And I think too, maybe a couple of like, if you do feel like there's adrenal fatigue, at 2 o'clock is like the prime time for you to take, it's called Adrenal Assist. It's actually the one we love the most. I used to take magnesium, pantothenic acid, and vitamin C at 2 o'clock. And the reason I do that is because that supports the adrenals. And so your adrenals, if you ever notice, you have like 3 to 4 o'clock afternoon slump. Well, it's because your adrenals have worked so hard and you haven't given them any support. So we like this Adrenal Assist. It also helps with sleep. So if you take it at 2 o'clock, I usually take this and then I take some magnesium threonate. And then, this will support my adrenals for the rest of the day. And I sleep so soundly. I sleep great. And it really does, and they're not that expensive. I really do, we both really benefit from it. And everybody that we've had, put on this, they love it. And it's pretty quick. Like you can see it within a couple of days. You can tell the difference.
Yeah, it's our favorite because like she said, it has that combo of vitamins that we were already taking, but then it has the adaptogens, which really just help your body because, you can't just shut off everything in the world and not be stressed out. So what this does is it kind of armors your body to help combat all of those things. And so the stress from everything is not going to be so hard on your body and help the functions. So this is proper nutrition is the best, but sometimes we just need a little bit of help.
Well, and that was actually what I learned in my last module is when they were talking about adrenals was sleep, food and supplements for the time being until your adrenals get, to where they're back to functioning better, because you'll see instant results. And then if you see instant results, then you can start to work on the rest because you feel better and you have more energy. So, yeah. That's why we think that they're super important.
And on the flip side, some things to avoid.
Sugar.
I mean, it takes time for disease to develop and issues to develop. So it's going to take time for your body to heal and get back to normal. And so sometimes we just have to lighten the load and the burden. And so really you want to try to avoid, high sugar, processed foods, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, anything that's basically fake.
Caffeine past like noon.
Yeah, caffeine, soda, I mean, that's just like liquid sugar. Gluten is a little hard on the system, so it's good to try to do more like gluten-free grains and more naturally gluten-free foods. Protein-rich foods, magnesium-rich foods, zinc-rich foods.
But also, one other thing is don't skip breakfast.
Oh yeah, don't skip breakfast.
All these fasters, it's great for some things, but when you have adrenal fatigue, do not skip breakfast because your body has worked so hard all night long and it needs food and it needs water. So have electrolytes water right on your nightstand so you drink it right away and you get downstairs, or not downstairs, not everybody has it downstairs. You go to breakfast and you have a protein and a carb, and so that you can fill your body before you have the coffee, because the coffee basically will actually make it worse if you drink coffee on an empty stomach, because it basically pumps the adrenaline, which is what gives you the energy. Then you crashed. So do not skip breakfast.
Yep. And take this with whatever you want, but be mindful of your workouts. Working out is very good. You should move your body every day.
100%.
But with that, you don't have to go climb a mountain every day. You don't have to go run a 10K race every day. So find balance in your workouts. Maybe notice how much cardio you are doing or things that are always getting your heart rate up. Can you find balance and maybe incorporate strength training or even stretching classes, bar classes, something to just even it out? Because if you're constantly doing cardio or just going super hard every day, that can burn out your adrenals. So then it does the opposite of what you want.
Yep.
So that's a little tale.
Yeah, we just wanted to fill you guys in because I feel like there's so much mixed information, and I just wanted to hit the basics, which, I mean, sleep, hydration, they're pretty important. So because we care about you guys and we want to continue to simplify things for you guys and share what we know.
Yep. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Or if you have any requests for videos, please let us know also.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.